Visiting now with Cody Decker here from his studio home out there in Southern California. And as we mentioned earlier, it's been a busy day for Cody. He's been all over the radio, and now his third stop is here in El Paso with us on 600 ESPN. You have already had a couple of opportunities to go to Dodger Stadium and take your cuts, take your hacks. It's again, as somebody who played so long in the game and had a chance to play at Dodger Stadium as a member of the Padres, what was this experience like going and testing? Essentially, you're like the beta tester for their home run derby next week.
Dare I say I'm more like the alpha tester of their home run derby stuff next week, because I'm just that's just what I am. I just show up and do it. Yes, I'm doing all the testing of the stuff. How great is it? It's awesome. You're on a big league baseball field hitting batting practice. It's cool, especially if you still got some pop and can put the ball over the fence a little bit. I mean, it's one thing. And here's the thing, because I am mimicking these 2-minute rounds, and I can't stress this enough. The home run derby rounds take a lot out of you. In fact, I did 2 home run derby rounds last time I was out. The first round, I got absolutely gassed. And the second round, I got the rhythm going and had a much better round. But it's very fun. The only downside is I don't get to watch the flight of the ball because I have to get ready for the next swing. So it is very, very interesting when you hit a ball out, but you don't hear it. But when you hear the ball hit the seats, it's just the greatest feeling in the world.
At the same time, somebody like yourself that played pro ball for so many years, would you say that 80 or 90% of the balls you connect, they're on their way out, even if you're not watching it, just from the contact in the field?
Yes, but I will say it also depends on the baseball itself. So a couple of rounds, some of the balls are better than other balls. We were using balls from the cage, which are a little beaten up. So I might click one that I'm like, yeah, I got that. And it might go off the wall. I'm like, yeah, that ball could have been a little bit better. And then they brought us out some better balls and the balls just fly. It's just a different thing. It's just a matter of a lot of things. But yeah, if I hit the ball right and I feel it, I pretty much know when I get it.
And the money ball is probably the most juiced up baseball of all time, right? That thing
is right here. Yep. I have it in my hand, the T-Mobile money ball, which is a half pink and white baseball. This thing that I did hit into the stands, I took one swing and I did not hit it well. And I think I hit it 460 feet. This thing is as hard as a rock. I cannot wait to hit more of these. God, I wish I played with these.
So when you did your second trial run, did you get those money baseballs as part of your home runs?
No, sadly, but don't worry. We'll see what happens this Sunday. I'm really excited. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at Decker6 and Instagram, Anti-Hero Baseball. I'll prove some live videos of it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, you have other guys going with you to hit. You're not by yourself doing this. Of the guys you brought, is anybody able to out-hit you in the home run department?
I mean, they could try, but it's going to be a tough battle. I mean, I got Nick Rickles, one of my teammates from Team Israel. And by the way, Nick Rickles has some absolute pop. One of the best BP hitters you'll ever see. He had some juice in the games too, but he was always kind of lauded as a backup catcher. So he never really got a chance to really show how much power he had. And he's got a lot of it. Not only that, a guy from El Paso that we're flying out, JJ Figueroa, played at Eastwood High School. He works over at Bima Elite Athletics. He's coming out to take some swings. And believe it or not, JJ's got some juice. He can put the ball in the stands. He came out the first time at Dodger Stadium. He hit about 5 homers. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun, man.
Speaking of Bima Elite Athletics, is Joe finally retired, or is he still trying to come back and play?
I don't know. I'm not there.
I'm in LA
in my studio right now.
Yeah, I get that, but I figured you probably at least get the word of what's going on, because he hasn't played this season. So I was kind of wondering if Joe has decided to finally call it a career, or if he could be like Satchel Paige and resurface in his 50s and try to get back out there.
If Joe wanted to pitch at 63 years old, Joe will pitch at 63 years old. The guy is still sitting 93 to 95 at 46 years old. I think he'd be a great benefit to any organization that wanted to bring him on. I think the Padres should bring him back. I'd love to see him back playing for the Chihuahuas again. Joe Bimel is a unicorn of a human being in that what he's able to accomplish at his age is just staggering.
Cody Decker with us via Zoom here as we continue on Sports Talk. For you, you've done home run derbies before. I know you were in a AAA home run derby competition during an all-star game during your playing days. The 2-minute round is, you said it, the hardest part about it is just having to take so many swings and not really admire the ball because you're getting ready for your next one as soon as you're done ramping up that previous swing.
Believe it or not, that's not the worst part. The worst part is actually the pitching, because it doesn't matter if it's where you want it or not. You kind of have to swing because you have a time limit. It's not like the old school thing where you get to take a pitch and get your pitch and get to 10 outs. You got 2 minutes. Whatever you get is what you get. And so if your pitcher is off and not hitting the spot that's best for you as a hitter, then you're going to lose. And it's very much, you got to be in sync with that same guy every single time.
Most of the times during the home run derby, their pitchers are in sync. I mean, occasionally it happens, but for the most part, these are guys that always throw to them. And you could just tell watching Pete Alonso these last couple of years that when his batting practice pitcher is in a groove, it's like synergy seeing those two connect.
Oh, yes. They got it down pat. But I got to tell you, I've been having guys throw to me and they struggle because it's a little nerve wracking. That same time limits in the back of their head as well. And they're doing it not in front of 60,000 people, which will be at Dodger Stadium this Monday, screaming at the top of their lungs, not to mention the millions watching at home.
How many hacks did you get in a 2-minute period? Did you count?
No, I did not. But if I were to bet, I can't stress this enough. It's not about quantity. It's about quality swing. So once you get that rhythm going, it becomes a lot easier. I'd say it probably took around 25, 30 swings, maybe 40.
That's a lot in 2 minutes, though.
It's a lot. It's exhausting. Yeah. The first round, I was gassed. The second round, I could have done another 2-minute round right afterward, but I had to figure out that rhythm.
How is that? Because most people would say that they're gassed by the second 2-minute round versus the first.
It was just a different type of approach. My first round, I was just kind of muscled up, moving. I wasn't controlling my breathing as well. I was more about quantity, go. Second round, I kind of relaxed my hands, relaxed my body, and then just kind of started breathing and taking my time between pitches rather than getting back in my stance and getting ready to go. It was seeing the ball, the flight path of the ball. All right, easy back in my stance. Here we go. And that was a far better approach in doing this. It, one, saved me a lot of energy. Two, I took more quality swings. Three, more balls got out and deeper, I should say. And yeah, it was a very interesting experience to see the difference in those two approaches. And I do feel like if I take that second approach and I am practiced enough, like I'm playing every day, I really think I can put together some pretty damn good rounds.
Meanwhile, speaking of damn good, this field for the home run derby is going to be awesome. I mean, I know Colorado was great last year because it's Colorado and great players, but it just seems like this is a star-studded field.
It is, and I'm looking forward to seeing that last spot. I have my hopes of who it'll be. A lot of people are hoping for Judge. I honestly really want to see Giancarlo Stanton in this home run derby. I think it would be phenomenal. You know, we haven't seen Giancarlo Stanton do a home run derby where he can just constantly hit the ball out of the stadium. You know, we saw him in San Diego bouncing balls off the Western Metal Supply, but, you know, there's a lot of free range area out there at Dodger Stadium to hit it out of Chavez Ravine.
Very true. Very, very true. All right. Can you stick around with us for our final segment, or do you have to get out of it?
Why not?
All right. Fantastic. Cody Decker joins us right now from his studio home in Southern California. Piece of trivia, folks. Cody Decker's studio was also our Lubindo studios. He hung out here and did many a radio show when he was in El Paso from our studios.
That is very, very true. In fact, both you and Adrian were absurdly helpful, especially in the early days. Because, I mean, the early days when we were getting right around COVID, we were all trying to figure out how to do radio on the road, specifically how it's done now. And man, you guys were extremely helpful and wonderful. And I got to do a lot of great Odyssey stuff out of there. And you know, my show's in Chicago and all over the place. And I have you guys to thank for that. I got to do so much great stuff in El Paso. And truly, I got to do so much in El Paso the last couple of years because you guys were so generous with your studio and me.
Now we appreciate that. And now you've got a perfect setup in your home. A lot of things. It's a busy backdrop for you, though, right now. I notice a vintage Wheaties box. I see a baseball bat. I see some kind of statue that's in gold. Give our listeners, even though they can't see it until later when they watch the YouTube feed, a little idea of what, in fact, you have in your setup behind you.
We'll go piece by piece. Why not? Over here, I got an award from 2009. I was named Minor League Player of the Year, so I have that lovely plaque. Next to that, I have the Home Run Derby ball that will be in this year's Home Run Derby. Next to that, a signed Michael Jordan Wheaties box. It still has the cereal in it, and I am hungry. Above that, I have, of course, my plaque that was on top of every locker when I played for Team Israel. It followed me both in Japan and Korea. I love this thing, of course. My bobblehead, my El Paso Chihuahuas bobblehead is always sitting next right to my head every show I do in every city that I do it in. Today in New York, today in Chicago, bobblehead right there front and center in El Paso. Next to that, I got this. This is a ticket to the Major League debut that I had in Arizona. And it was very nice that my dad saved it for me, framed it for me, and it's on my set full time. Down here, I have this lovely little plaque where I was named a AAA All-Star when I was with the El Paso Chihuahuas. I have this wonderful Howie Long signed football helmet because I am a diehard, pathetic Raiders fan. I have a nice custom baseball bat barrel that has been made into a beer mug for me. That's there. And yes, this is real. My old license plate that was on a 2005 Honda Element, the best car I've ever had, and I will die on this hill. That was my license plate number. Yes, it does say Upper Decker. Yes, yes, yes. Every aspect of Upper Decker is true.
I love it. Oh, and by the way, that trophy that's right next to you, the gold statue, what is that?
Oh, that is the Jewish Sports Hall of Fame, of which I am a member of. Foolishly, they were really, really short on contestants that year, but they let me in and there are no takebacks. That has my name on it. Good luck getting it back for me.
I love that. Congratulations. And by the way, how'd you get the signed Jordan Wheaties box? That's a very cool piece of little memorabilia there.
No people. And, you know, it was something I had kind of in the collection since my whole life. I think we got it at an auction when I was a young kid. And since I do a lot of radio in Chicago, I think it's a perfect thing to have up on my set. Everyone that grew up in the 90s was a Bulls fan, whether you like it or not. If you liked sports in the 90s, especially if you were a kid my age, I'm 35 now, you like two things, the Mariners and you liked the Bulls because of Ken Griffey Jr. and because of Michael Jordan. And that is it.
That cereal could be 35 years old. That's still in there, 30 years old. I'm sure early 90s. I remember when the Wheaties box first came out.
Oh, yeah. I'm very hungry. I can't stress this enough. I've been on the radio nonstop for the last 7 hours. I am very hungry. I might dabble into that.
Would you ever consider like chewing a piece of gum from a 35 or 40-year-old pack of baseball cards?
I'm assuming there would be some sort of financial incentive in this for me.
I don't know. Some people just do it just to do it, just to try.
Oh, I definitely won't do that.
Okay, just curious about that. Wondering how that is. Hey, by the way, are you planning on attending the All-Star game since it's in your backyard in LA? And you've been doing so many of these home run derby dry runs over the last 6 weeks.
I will be having myself a very busy week. Will I actually be there for the All-Star game? I would be willing to bet no, but I will be at Dodger Stadium all through the week for All-Star week. I got a lot of radio that I have to do from here. A lot of stuff taking place in my hometown of Santa Monica. So I am going to be a busy, busy man throughout All-Star week here in Los Angeles, California. Check me out on Twitter and, of course, Instagram. You get to see all of it.
By the way, it sounds to me like your career has been really rocketing through the last few months of the season. Not to say you weren't doing it beforehand. You had the national radio show with your wife and Eddie Pence, but now it seems like really for you, very busy, loving what you do, and you're all over the airwaves. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got a bunch of shows. Obviously, the podcasts are doing fine. You know, I have the Big Time Baseball podcast that I do with John Heyman and Tony Gwynn Jr. Absolutely love doing that show. It's great for Odyssey Sports. And, of course, I have my BetMGM shows, of which I have a lot of them. I have BetMGM MLB podcast powered by BetQL. I, of course, have my Saturday live show for both BetQL and CBS Sports called Bet for the Cycle. It's a live 4-hour show taking through all live lines through all Major League Baseball throughout the week. And then, of course, I got my other shows in 670 The Score in Chicago. I have Down the Line with Cody Decker that I have throughout the baseball season. And I fill in just about everywhere. You can catch me on the BetQL network, all the BetMGM stuff. I do BetMGM home run picks every weekend, so you can check me out on social media for those. Yeah, and plenty more coming up. And I only mentioned 4 of the shows that I currently have.
You were also in town about a month ago for the Jones Brothers Celebrity Softball game and Home Run Derby. Ago. And that was very cool.
Very, very cool. A wonderful time, a great organization, raising money for a great charity. I'm just, any chance I get a chance to come back to El Paso and kind of give back, I try to jump all over it. It was a great, wonderful time. You're welcome. I did hit a go-ahead home run. That's what I do.
Enjoy All-Star Week. Appreciate you hopping on with us today. And it's always great to spend some time with you, Deck.
Kaplowitz, you ask me to jump, I will ask how high. That's how much I love you. And I love Adrian as well. Guys, thank you so much for having me and all that you've ever done for me.
It's music.